Hello, my creative and crafty friends. This is Gloria Plunkett with Designs by Gloria, here to share with you how to create this adorable little note caddy pencil holder. It's got a little slot in there for your pencil or pen, whatever you want to use. Let me share how to do that. It's pretty simple, pretty quick. So we've got three pieces of the lovely lipstick cardstock, a couple pieces of the Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper. So let's go ahead and get started with scoring. I'm going to go ahead and score all the pieces together with you, and then we'll come back and pull this together. So we're going to start with the 4" by 11" piece of lovely lipstick cardstock, and we're going to score that on the 11" side at 4 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches, and 10 inches. Set that aside. Then we're going to score the 5" by 7¼ piece on the 5" side at a 1/2 inch and 4½ inches. Then we're going to rotate it to the 7¼ side, and we're going to score at 4 inches and 4½ inches. Set that aside. Then we're going to take this last piece of 2½ by 2½ piece of lovely lipstick paper, and we're going to score that at every 1/2 inch. So that'll be scored at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, at 1½ inch, and 2 inches. And that's it for the scoring. So let me put this aside and we'll get started on the assembly. So let's start with the 4" by 11" piece of lovely lipstick. And we're simply going to fold and burnish each of the score lines. You want to make sure you use a bone folder to get some really crisp, nice lines. This piece here, see how that folds there? This is going to fold like a little tent card. So we're going to fold this down like so. We're going to fold this back so it creates a little W there. See that? We're going to fold this back and burnish. Like I said, I really like to use my bone folder and get a good burnished line there. Then all we're going to do is take your liquid glue, your tear and tape. I would not use snail, just because you really want a good adhesion on this. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue. And you don't even have to try and get the lines together. If you score it correctly, it'll just automatically line right up. Go ahead and burnish it really well with your bone folder to ensure you got great adhesion. And then this will create your little tent piece that'll stand up on your desk. Okay. Now let's work on the pocket. And we're going to fold and burnish the score lines we created. I'll have a PDF tutorial available on my blog at designsbygloria.com for you with all the measurements for this project, so you don't have to write them down. Score on the middle score lines as well. Burnish the already scored lines. Okay. Now let me pull in my paper snips, and we're going to cut on these 2 score lines right here on either side. You can't just take just a tiny bit off each of the sides. As you can see, there's hardly anything there. To create less bulk and for your project to fold nicely, take that off and that off there. Okay. And then this will create our little pocket that's going to sit on the front of our little tent. Cute. Okay. Before we do this assembly, we're going to take this piece that we've already pre-scored and burnished all the score lines. This will be our little pencil or pen holder. I got these adorable little pencils on Amazon. I'll have a link on my tutorial and on my blog today for you to check those out. I created this project for my team, Make and Takes, my Let's Stamp in Georgia group. They loved them. All right, so what you're going to do is just pretty much make a little square. Again, I'm going to use my liquid glue and just put this down and lay it over the top and burnish it well with my bone folder. Okay, there's our little holder. Now we want to make sure this sits in here. And what I'd like to do is this piece that you can see where you folded it over, I want to add that to the back of my project. So I'm going to add some liquid glue here and ensure that sits in there nice and snug against the wall. I'm going to push my little snips in there to kind of press it down. We're going to put some adhesive here too, but for now we want to make sure it's straight down and right up against that. Fold, okay. Now I'm going to add some adhesive here. It's such a simple project, but it's packed such a sweet punch for your customers. I'm going to push this up because the shorter end is my front of my note card holder. So I'm going to push that down and make sure that stays in place for a few seconds. I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive here and then pull this to the side here. Again, I'm going to use my snips and get in there to make sure I've got some good adhesion. It just takes a few seconds. If you use tear and tape, it's quicker, but you've only got one shot with tear and tape. Okay, give it a little bit of loving. And we're going to do this little tab here. I'm going to fold that up. Remember, this is the front of your, so it's a shorter piece. That'll go in the front. And then we want to add adhesive to these two tabs. That way you don't see anything on the front, any rough cuts or anything. Okay, bring this up and hold it on both sides and burnish it. Give it a little bit of a rub and give it a few seconds to really adhere on there well. Okay, now you've got your front pocket. Now we're going to add glue on the back and we're going to adhere this to our little tent card. Okay, you know what I can do also is create a little edge here. So you take your snips, see if, make sure you can see this, do this as close to the camera as I can without being blurry, and just cut from this end to this end. Do the same thing on this side, flip it over, get my snips right at that score line and just snip right there. That's it. All right, now let's add lots of adhesive to the back. Again, tear and tape would be great. I like to have a little opportunity to get it just right. Okay, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to lay it on there. And then use my bone folder to burnish it in place. Remember, there's a little area there where we put the square piece for the pencil. So I'm going to take my snips and kind of press down in there. Make sure we have some good adhesion. And there you have your little notepad holder. So now what I'm going to do, I've cut these pieces of Designer Series paper from the Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper pack at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and this one's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to add, you know what, I should have added this, darn it, before I added this. So don't do what I did. So I'm going to have to chop that up and add that just like that. And you won't be able to see this because I'll have my note paper in here like this. So darn it. Oh well. So let's glue the front of the piece. This one won't matter. Decorative purposes only, but still it'll look pretty with that Designer Series paper on there. So we're gonna add this here. Make sure you got it even on all sides. I think I'm gonna do the pineapple. Yep. So I'm gonna add a few Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of my stitched circle lovely lipstick cut piece. And I used the second to the largest die for this. Just do this the easy way. Oops. Take the tops off. Let's add it about right there. Then we'll add some more Stampin' Dimensionals. When you put your stuff, make sure you check before you You know what? I think I'm going to do this one instead because it doesn't stick up too much over here. So add more Stampin' Dimensionals in the back. See how much it sticks up from the top. Yeah. There. I love my projects not to cave or fall in, so I always like to add a little more dimensionals than I probably have to, but it's just me. Use whatever works for you. Get all these little goobers off. I made this project up for my team several weeks ago. So I forgot about adding that Designer Series paper before we added this piece for your pencil in. Oh well, it'll work out. And we'll just add that right there with a little pop of color. Maybe sprinkle in some rhinestones just to give it some pizzazz. Because who doesn't like bling? All right, I know I do. Put one back here, and maybe one more right over here. Okay. Now all we need to do is cut some sheets of regular, what I use was some regular copy paper, and cut them down to fit in here. And then I'm just going to add my little pencil. Or you could add a pin with coordinating Designer Series paper inside the barrel. And there you go. Project is complete. So use what you have and have fun creating. If you have any questions, drop me an email or leave me a message on my blog. Talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Bye.